The more darkness you have gone through in life, the more ink you have accumulated within you to write your story. It is your ink that is the treasure you came here to experience, to live, to transmute, to transform, to face, right? We run away from our own selves because we feel like it's scary to get to those darker inner spaces within ourselves. To sit with our emotions is really, really hard because we can be distracted by 10,000 billion things. But to commit, to get to know your darkness, to nourish it by embracing and acknowledging it, by saying, "Do you know what? I am going to not stop till I get to the core of what is hurting me. Why is it hurting me? When did it all start?" To purify yourself from like the core inner being, to sit with yourself and face yourself and recognize that you were always in control. You just didn't remember that you were. And so when you own your darkness, you become whole. Nobody can insult you, nobody can shake you, nobody can do nothing to you. When you are comfortable in being who you are, you become real, you become authentic, you become fearless. And that's the journey. When you go towards light, you actually have to go to light through the darkness. Like the tunnel is dark, but the more darkness you are surrounded by, the more pain that you have carried within you, the more ink you have to write your story. Now, I'm going to narrate this through a beautiful, beautiful love story, a folk love story by in Pakistan. And this is narrated in a song Piya Ghar Aaya on what's it called, YouTube, and you can go check it out. It's a really, really lovely song. And in that song, I think it's Coke Studio season 11, where the narrator, the singer, sings about this love story that Majnu is the lover, and he is so in love with Laila. He cannot see anything wrong with her, right? And people around him are like looking at him that he's completely a nutter, he's completely lost. He's walking around, he doesn't even care about what anybody has to say, for his love within him is so strong for Laila that it doesn't that doesn't matter what the outside people have to say. He just feels this love, and he allows himself to feel this love that he has for another creation of the creator, because that love is what is pulling him towards the creator. And so he chooses her above everybody else. And everybody around Majnu thinks that he's completely mad for having such intense emotions for another human being. Oh my God, like, what are you doing? And he's looking at them thinking they are so mad. They don't see that she's actually the portal to my creator. By loving her, I feel closer to love itself, of remembrance of love of me. And so he loves her because she is an extension or a projection or an outside manifestation of his inner darkness. He is in love with this woman who is really, really dark, and she's a feminine, right? So symbolically speaking, what if Laila was his own inner darkness, the feminine energy that was intense, that was dark, that is like powerful, that stands up for itself. He was so in love with his feminine that it did not matter to him, because it was a gift of the creator for him. Through that darkness, through her, through being inspired by this woman who was so powerful in herself, she didn't care what color she was, she didn't care who she was just raw, right? She was real, and people looked at her like she was just crude. She was, humiliated her for her looks, for her darkness. But what if, symbolically speaking, Laila was Majnu himself? She was reflecting the darkness. The people think darkness, like a woman who speaks for herself and her rights, is dark and, like a witch or something. But actually, what if he had fallen in love with his own true self? For to him, it was not about darkness or light, it was the truth of who he was. He had fallen in love with the journey he had, the emotions that he felt. He didn't run away from them, he faced them. He didn't care about the world. He said, I love. That's it. I don't care what she looks like. I don't care she's fat or ugly. I love. Because what people were seeing was the external manifestation of his inner self. That Laila was himself. And if that was himself, and he had fallen fully in love with all the flaws of himself, he thought of his flaws as something that the creator put in him, and he fell in love with who he authentically, his weakness. He fell in love with his weaknesses. For every time he felt weak, he knew who was the one who was never weak. He fell in love with the darkness, because the darkness was a gift from the creator that led him through towards the creator's light. Because when you are in love with somebody, you are down on your knees, you are literally in so much excruciating pain of your soul, that you ask for this person, that the prayer you send to the higher realms is what brings you closer to the creator. And this person was the portal, the doorway, and it is so beautiful. And yes, this person is important, and this person is, you'd want to be with people who bring you closer to the creator. But we've been told and taught that when you are not in love, when you don't get your love, is when the love is like, oh my god, amazing. No, no, we have to learn to fight and stand up and show up every single day for the love that we feel for people. Not like run after them, but acknowledge it. Acknowledge that you feel that way. So what if he was just acknowledging all that he felt, and he was just in love with the love that brought him closer to being honest, to being vulnerable, to being okay in loving somebody that could not be understood by other people. It doesn't matter what people have to say. And in that song, people say to him, like, like, she's whatever, define her as whatever, not that pretty, she's not coming out of the magazine, or kind of thing. And he says that when you really understood love, you'll understand that the pages of the holy book Quran were white, but they can only be written with the ink that is black. So he was white and she was black. She was the story that led him closer to the message of the Creator. And it was in the written script. The ink is her. The ink is dark. So you couldn't even write the revelation if you were just going to be pure. You had to have the darkness to write the story. You can't write a story without the ink, and the ink has to be darker in color than the page itself. So I have this sheet here, which is randomly lying there. And if it was just the white sheet, that was Majnu, that's just white sheet. But it is she, the darkness, the black, the strength, the clarity, the truth, the light of the creator was only when he actually learned the darkness. And it is the darkness that he wrote the story with. And so it was not the darkness of Laila, as in skin color, as we are so literal sometimes. It was the darkness of his own inner emotions. He was so in love with himself for the way the creator had created him. He didn't care about people thinking of him as being mad or not mad, right? And so coming back to the story, that the more darkness you had, the more ink you had to write, to create, to narrate, to inspire, to be, to become, right? The more the tunnel, the longer the tunnel has been for you to get to light, the period of like the darkness is the period where you are accumulating. I'm thinking like accumulating the ink from the cave, like you go into the cave and you're sitting there and you're accumulating and scraping away the walls of the cave, and you're, you know, accumulating ink in your bucket, so that when you come out of the tunnel into the light, you have this massive truckload of ink that you can now write your story with. Your story is beautiful because it you had the courage to face it, you had the courage to stand for it. You didn't sit there thinking, what if I had taken this step. No, you took the leap of faith. You fell in love with your own darkness, with your own journey, with you as who you are. You're not fighting with your addictions. You're not fighting and hiding or putting up a mask and saying, oh yeah, this is just the way I am. No, you're saying, hang on, let me just go deeper. Why am I the way I am? Let me get to know me. And when you truly get to know yourself with compassion, with kindness, with intention, you can't not love who you are. You had the resilience to stand up for yourself. When you become your own Majnu, you become your own Laila, you become fearless, and you don't let people take away your energy by telling you you are this and you are that. It doesn't matter. I'm mad. Yes, okay, great, thank you. Because I'm not like you, so you think I'm mad. Okay, what's the big deal with that? If somebody sees you as not great in their perception, doesn't make you good or bad. You are still going to be you. Your darkness is, your weaknesses are what makes you human. So I cry a lot. Like, I'm very sensitive. Anything good happen, I'll cry. Anything bad happens, I'll cry. So 3 times more than normal people will cry. And I used to find that, like, why I have to cry? Why am I always like, this is my dark side, like oozing out emotions like everywhere. And I realized it's actually my superpower to be able to feel something that maybe somebody out there is not able to. So the tears that are coming out from my waterfall within me is because somebody in the room is suppressing their emotions, and I'm just picking them up and doing them a favor of releasing those tears. And so, big deal, I cry. Brilliant. That made me feel like, oh my god, that's like the dark side of me or the bad side of me. I'm so sensitive, I'm always crying. I'm not crying because I'm complaining, I'm crying because I'm releasing, I'm purifying, I'm actually transmuting the energy I'm feeling through my tears. And that's pretty cool, actually. That's like a superpower. It's so being made to, I've been told, like, Kamna, you have a very small heart, that's why you cry so much. No, I actually have a really big heart, but I can feel your pain in my body and transmute it for you without you even knowing. And that, my friend, is fully owning all the color of your ink and writing a story not based on what people are ready to hear. Because most times we operate as to what will be gullible, sorry, not gullible, what will be digestible by people. You know what? They can go take tablets themselves. If their stomach can't handle what you are and who you are, then they can go change their direction and move away from you. Let them go. Let them go. Do not sacrifice your truth based on what they want you to be. Don't be that. Don't be like other people. Your story is beautiful because you have the courage to face yourself, to face, I don't like the word demons because I kind of like my darkness. I literally enjoy being who I am. And I don't think most people understand that when you truly own your flaws, your mistakes, your sins, they actually free you. You will feel so much lighter when you actually say, I have not been a great person. I have not been good to me. I've not been good to me. You know that truth? I've not been good to me. And I'm glad I recognized that before my last breath so I can be good to me. I will now choose myself above everybody else, for I choose the soul that is in me. And this soul that carries that I'm carrying, I'm responsible for this soul. I will be asked about this soul. So I'm going to take care of this soul and not let anybody deviate me from the path of coming home to myself every single day, every single second, every single minute. I am done giving away my fragments to people who do not value or see my divinity. For if you cannot see my divinity, then you cannot see your divinity. And when you can't see your divinity, then you're not connected to the divine. And when you're not connected to the divine, then you're disconnected and stuck in a realm which will lower your frequency, which will take you away from yourself. And I don't want to be with, I don't want to not, I want to write my story, so I need to use my ink, for I cannot be closer to the creator when I don't value what he's given me in my ink. If I don't value the ink that he has given me to write my story with, if I don't value the personality that I am, if I don't value the journey that I've gone through to get to where I am, if I don't value my whole life, that means I don't value the creator. And I'm thinking that the creator has some flaw or made a mistake in writing my story. No, 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 no. My story was written with the ink, with the darkest of shade, for that is how he intended me to experience this life, so I could write the clearest of story. The darker the ink, the more the visibility, the more the trust you have in yourself to know that you will stand up for your own self above everything else. The darker the ink, the darker your life, the deeper your pain, the more isolated you are, the more you are here to free yourself from this world. Your darkness is the healer, the guide, the pull that is pulling you towards the light that is inside you, not something somebody gives you outside. It is literally pulling you. So become the Laila that you are meant to be. Be the dark person, for that darkness is what's going to lead you. When you own your darkness, is going to lead you to acceptance, to love, to compassion, and then, my God, to joy, and then to peace, and then to becoming everything and nothing at the same time. I swear to God, it's a journey that is so powerful. And like, if you feel like you want to connect to your divinity, then I really invite you to join my online sessions. One's on Friday, one's on Sunday. If you want the details, write down Artist Apartheid and I'll send you the details through. It is magical to get closer to your light through your creativity, because it gives you the power to shift, to change, to connect, to become fully who you truly are. And you own your darkness, you become your Laila, and you are crazy like Majnu. But my God, the most beautiful people in this world are those who stand up for love. And be called crazy, mad, is not like it's an honor. It's saying I love so much, for I am filled with all that love. That is love. Why should I be scared of those who don't know how to love, who can't choose to love, or not recognize me as love? That's okay. It's fine. It's fine for people to not be welcoming your love, but that shouldn't change you and your remembrance of being love. So go write your story with all your darkness. Own yourself, own your mistakes, own your sins, and recognize that is your power. You came here to break the chains of your mind and be free of it all. I love you. Take good care of yourselves, and don't ever forget you are loved just the way you are.